evening, everyone. This is Lisa, your favorite spoon bunny, and this evening we are going to be chatting a little bit about a topic that's a little heavier than most. And so you see me wearing my bunny ears tonight to try and sort of lighten the mood a little bit and help us along as we discuss this. And it's a topic that we all have to go through on a day-to-day basis, and that is grieving the loss of our healthy selves. You know, when we start feeling the symptoms of our illnesses and we start um, understanding what's beginning to happen to us, and we start going through our doctor visits and we start going through um, all the testing and the laboratory experiments, as the case may be, the MRIs, the EMGs, the CT scans, all the blood work and things of that nature that we have to go through just to reach a diagnosis. And sometimes along the way we reach misdiagnoses before we can even get to our true diagnoses. We end up just going through this long process and journey that we just don't understand. And by the time we get to our diagnosis, we feel like our old and healthy self is just gone. It feels truly like we've lost ourselves, and that our truest, best, and closest friend, which is our own self, has died. And it's probably the toughest thing, aside from losing a child, that anyone can ever go through in their lives, because once you've been sort of slapped in the face with your diagnosis, you end up getting slapped in the face with it again and again every day of your life. And so you end up going through this grief process over and over and over again, because you can't attend all the happy events that go on in your family's life. You have to pick and choose your battles, so to speak, and what you can be there for, and what you may have to decline because you just don't have the spoons to do it. And you end up disappointing the important people in your life. You end up letting them down, and you end up sometimes even making people angry at you because you just can't do all the things that you used to, and you feel so guilty and so angry and so hurt by all of the things that you just aren't capable of anymore. And it's an ongoing process, and you just can't escape it. And so you go through this constant grief process of, they talk about the five stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, I forget what the fourth one is, but then you finally get to acceptance. But then even when you finally get to acceptance, you end up getting right back into one or all of those stages all over again when you get smacked in the face by some other event that you can't go to, or some other thing that you can't do. And it's just something that you just never really get over. And it's one of those things that you deal with for the rest of your life. But the thing about that is that you're not alone in your grief. There are countless other chronic illness individuals, spoonies, that are going through this with you. We get it. We understand. we can help you process all these feelings, because we're going through them every day ourselves. There's one particular quote that came from a movie that I watched, and just to be able to remember it, I'm going to look at it. And I love the movie because it's just a case study in human nature. But the quote goes like this. It says, you can be as mad as a mad dog at the way things went. You can swear, curse the fates, but when it comes to the end, you have to let go. And so, what I want to just encourage you to do is reach out to a support group, especially if you can find a chronic illness support group with other people that are sick. Whether they may be the same sicknesses that you go through does not matter. Everyone understands on some level what you're going through. Whether they have the same symptoms as you or not, they're going through the same feelings as you. Reach out to your doctor. Let them help you find other people that can help you in your journey. Reach out online. I've mentioned the Unchargeables as a support group. They are a Facebook support group. They are a closed group. So once you do search them out, you are going to have to go through a little tiny bit of an application process. But it's an easy one. They're so supportive, and they're so positive, and they're so sweet, and they're so wonderful. And they'll be so more than willing to accept you and understand you and be willing to give to you everything that you need, no matter what walk of life you come from, no matter what religion you practice, no matter what, what your beliefs are, and what your thought processes may be. It does not matter. They will help you. I swear it. I want to encourage you every day to try and find that glimmer of hope. It is there. I have a very, very dear friend. She's become a dear, close friend over the last few years that I met at the Unchargeables. And she has been dealing with a laundry list of chronic illnesses for over 60 years, since she was a child. And she still goes through this grieving your healthy self process, the anger, the denial, the depression, all of it. And I can't it's not that I can't understand what she's going through. I can. There have been days where I have just gotten so down and so ready to just give it all up. And she has loved me and supported me and cared for me and essentially just shared more of her life with me and offered me a little slice of humble pie and a little bit of perspective, just sharing with me, just how long she's been going through all this and helping me to understand, that even in the length of time that she's been going through all this, there's still good things in her life. And offering me, some of that perspective, to offer me a better perspective on what I've been going through, there's still there's still a good life to be lived. And there's still a purpose. There's still a purpose for you. And so that's what I want to, leave you with today. There is still a reason that you're here, and there is a reason that you're sick. It may take you some work to find out what it is, but I want to encourage you to do the work and find it out, and to do the work and go through your grief process and understand it and hold on to it and embrace it, because you are going to find yourself on some stage of that throughout the rest of your life. It's just like losing a child. It really is. Just as much as your illness is going to stay with you as long as you live, unless and until they find a cure for you, which is my greatest prayer for you. As much as your illness is going to stay with you, so is that grief process, because you're never going to be normal again. And so, do the work and find your purpose and find your reason and find your joy. My 6-month-old grandson is the light of my life. He is the sweetest boy. He has some of my temperament. My daughter jokes that, the fabric that I picked out for some of his blankets that were made for him by my mother, he will only tolerate those because I picked them out, and I picked them out based on what my skin can tolerate. And so he will only sleep with those, and he will only tolerate, towels that were made with that fabric, to have his face wiped with, because he only likes things soft. He won't sleep in his bassinet because he only likes things soft. And I joked with her and I said, yep, he's definitely his nanny's grandson, because I can only ever tolerate soft things with my hyper aesthetic skin, and so he kind of inherited his nanny's, hypersensitivity with his hyperesthesia. So, it's just one of those things that, here we go. He inherited some crazy part of me that I never intended. And he is so the light of my life. And I want to, stick it out and be part of him, no matter the tough days, and no matter the angry days, and no matter the days that I just cry my eyes out. My joy in him is so much greater than my grief process. And so I want to encourage you to find that. Please, whatever it is, find it. And hold on to it with all of your might, because it's so worth it. And so, with all that being said, my loves, I pray for you every day. I truly hope that, your days get easier, and that you and your symptoms can learn to embrace each other and understand each other and learn to live in peace. And so until next time, my friends, this is the Spoon Bunny signing off. May your spoons be plenty and your troubles be few. Have a great night.